All right. Good evening, all of you. Welcome to EduTap. I'm Surbhi, and this is Perspective 360 Degree, your one-stop solution for current affairs, descriptive writing, and answer writing evaluation. Yes, you heard it right. We provide you free answer writing evaluation for RBI Grade B, NABARD, SEBI, and any other exam that you're preparing for. Just join this initiative today itself. It is entirely free of cost. What we do is we discuss each topic on like alternate day basis with we take a question answer approach. That is, we write answers simultaneously to the topic that we are preparing, and this prepares you for descriptive writing, that is phase 2 part of your regulatory body syllabus. Also, it enhances your understanding of the topics, and this is a promise from our side that you do not get the information or the concepts that we discuss in Perspective 360 Degree of this quality anywhere else. So before proceeding further, let me know if the screen is clear to you and if the audio is clear. There is audio without breaks and the screen is completely clear to you. Yes, Sankararao, good evening. Ananya, good evening. A lot of you have been facing problems with YouTube comments getting deleted. See, that is a glitch that is in the YouTube itself, in YouTube app or YouTube website itself. That is not a glitch from our side. What we can help you out with is that whenever you see that your answer is being deleted, kindly email that answer to us. I always recommend that do not type in YouTube comment section straight away, because there are certain terms and conditions for YouTube comment section. Kindly type your answer somewhere else, not preferably in Word, on the Notepad app or any other MS Office app. Kindly type it there and then paste it to YouTube comment section. If you see that your answer is getting deleted, you can contact us at hello@edutap.co.in. That is our email ID. Send your answers to us at that email ID so that we can keep it for record and let us know that your answer has been deleted. Preferably attach a screenshot if possible. All right. So I hope, Damodar, your doubt is clear now. All right. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, grateful soul, Anushka. Thank you. So the topic for today, as you clicked on the thumbnail, poverty estimation in India. Are we poverty estimation in India or poverty estimation? Are we calculating poverty the right way? Are we estimating it the right way? Or there are problems with it? So yes, there are a lot of problems that come with poverty, but the biggest problem that India has seen is with regards to poverty estimation. Who is categorized as poor and who is categorized as somebody who is not poor? So what should be the classification for a person to be known as poor and for him to be able to avail the benefits that he gets for being born in India? The government can give him some benefits for being born in India, for being a citizen of India. What characterization can we have? How do you differentiate between a poor person and a non-poor person? So that is a problem for researchers, that is a problem for government, that is a problem for experts as well. And this is a part of this is a topic that has been mentioned explicitly in your syllabus, so that's why it is important for us to cover. Poverty has been in news this time multiple times in the past few months, and recently it was seen that India's poverty soared pre-pandemic level, eased in 2021 but remained above 2018 levels. This is a World Bank report. A recent World Bank report has said that in India poverty has increased, that in 2021 it did decrease, but because of the pandemic, poverty in India has increased. So now 13.5 crore plus out of poverty in 5 years, PM Modi's claims. So the government is claiming something else. A few months back in July 2023, this is 17 July 2023, Niti Aayog released a report saying that 13.5 crore Indians have escaped multi-dimensional poverty in 5 years. Now what I expect is you might see a direct question from multi-dimensional poverty in India directly, or you might be asked to write a short note on poverty in India. For any of these questions on poverty, first of all, the clarity regarding syllabus is very much necessary. Secondly, we will be studying a question in a certain form that will prepare you for all the questions on poverty that you see. So for NABARD Grade A, if you look at your ESI syllabus, that is paper 2 section 1, economic and social issues, poverty alleviation and employment generation in India, rural and urban, measurement of poverty, poverty alleviation programs of government, they have been mentioned. These topics are mentioned explicitly explicitly in your syllabus. For RBI Grade B, poverty alleviation and employment generation in India as part of ESI, again explicit mention of this topic. Then for SEBI Grade A, we do not have explicit mention of topics like poverty, but in English writing skills for SEBI Grade A, these topics are highly advanced and poverty is one of the expected topics. So definitely watch out this entire session. Stay with me for the entire session. So let's frame a question. Let's see what can be the expected question look like. And trust me, this question is going to be tough. So if you're writing phase 2 in a few days, the first thing you could be is feel scared. You don't have to feel scared. What you have to do is you have to learn from it and make sure whatever you are learning today, you are completely perfect in it, and any question that you see, you're able to answer it. So enumerate the initiatives taken for poverty estimation in India. I told you poverty estimation in India, it is a long exercise. It is, it is very confusing. So a lot of initiatives for poverty estimation have been carried in India in the past, even before independence. So we will be talking about some of them. What do the recent trends indicate about India's poverty levels? Now, recent trends, this is a very foggy term. Foggy term. What we'll do here is, since we are writing an exam for getting into the government, for getting into government services, we'll not write very much anti-government. We'll talk about the Niti Aayog report, which says that many people, 13.5 crore people, have been lifted out of multidimensional poverty, because that is the legal statistics or official statistics that we have. In the towards the end of the answer, we'll also talk about the concerns associated with varying poverty levels, why World Bank is giving a different statistics, why India is giving a different statistics. So this is the answer blueprint. To be able to write descriptive answers, you cannot start straight away. You have to start with an introduction, then move on to the main body part, which can have multiple parts depending upon how many sub parts of the question are present in your exam. Then end with the conclusion. These are the key parameters for writing a good answer. Don't forget them. So let's divide our question, or let's divide our answer into these 3 parts, and let's study that how we will approach this today's topic and how we will write this answer. That's the question. It has to be answered for 600 words. That is for 15 marks. The first part would be introduction, and in the introduction I recommend that you talk about poverty a little bit. Now most of the students, what they do, they start writing definition of poverty. Poverty is this, poverty is that. First of all, I always recommend that do not start with definitions of basic topics. They're talking about poverty estimation. So if they're talking to you about poverty estimation, they expect you to know the definition of poverty, and you should also know the examiner to know the definition of poverty. So don't throw the definition of poverty at him. First of all, there is no comprehensive definition or no legally accepted definition of poverty in India. Many committees suggest differently. And secondly, poverty's definition would be a very basic thing to start your answer with. Start your answer on a booster level. Instill more and more data, facts, example in the introduction itself. So we will be talking about poverty estimation and its importance. All right, because the latest data on poverty estimation, whichever has come out, will be forming the body part of our answer. That is poverty estimation initiatives and recent trends. This is where we'll put the data. So that's why we are not talking about poverty in introduction. We are talking about poverty estimation and why is it important. That is need of poverty estimation. By establishing the need of poverty estimation, we will move on to body part 1, where we'll talk about that what has the government done to estimate poverty, what have been the initiatives of government. Then in the body part 2, we will talk about the recent trends in Indian poverty levels. What have been the what are the reports saying, what is NFHS, that is National Family Health Survey, saying. Census data is not out, so we cannot rely on that is very old. And then we'll answer with a way forward. What are the challenges in poverty estimation, or what are the challenges in reducing poverty in the country? All right, so yes, we have a lot of people online. Anushka, your answers get evaluated in the comment section itself in the next 48 hours. How to have track on word limit in exam? Ajay, I will take this towards the end of this session. Yes, Rohit, hello. Mohit, again, hello. So starting with the introduction, let's talk about poverty estimation. What is it and why is it important? All right. So, what is poverty estimation? Poverty estimation is basically calculating how many people are poor in your country. And why is poverty estimation important? आप जानना क्यों चाहते हैं कि कितने poor लोग हैं या कितने गरीब लोग हैं आपकी कंट्री में? Because poverty it leads to a vicious cycle. अगर आपकी कंट्री में बहुत ज़्यादा पुअर लोग हैं, that means they will be living in non-sanitary conditions. There will be diseases in your country. There will be those people who will not have access to basic human rights. आपकी सोसाइटी में क्राइम ज़्यादा हो सकता है, आपकी सोसाइटी में inevitable deaths ज़्यादा हो सकती हैं. So that will not be a happy country to live in. So basically first point is we do not want poverty in our country. ऐसा नहीं है that if our life is going well, so we do not worry about other people. We do not want poverty in our country. That is something we have to be very much clear about. And as a government job aspirant or a regulatory body manager aspirant, you have to be very clear about this thing, that poverty is something very much undesirable in the country and we want an end to it. Secondly, how does poverty estimation help us end poverty? Because once you recognize the problem, आपको जब problem के बारे में पता लग जाता है कितने लोग इससे ग्रसित है या कहाँ कहाँ पर problem ज़्यादा है, आप उन जगहों में सॉल्यूशंस दे पाते हैं. यू कैन गिव सॉल्यूशंस इन एग्जैक्टली दोज एरियाज वेयर पावर्टी इज हाईली प्रेवलेंट. ऑलराइट, तो सॉल्यूशंस क्या होते हैं? गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स और इनिशिएटिव्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, जैसे सब्सिडीज हो गया, एम्प्लॉयमेंट राइट टू वर्क अंडर एमजी और योर फ्री राशन या जो पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम है. सो हाउ डू वी आइडेंटिफाई द बेनिफिशरीज अंडर गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स की फ्री फूड किसे दिया जाएगा, जॉब्स किसे दी जाएंगी, या अदरवाइज अकाउंट में पैसे किसको ज़रूरत है, किसके अकाउंट में डाले जाएंगे. सो दैट इज़ ऑल कमिंग फ्रॉम पावर्टी एस्टिमेशन. दैट इज़ वाई टू इरेडिकेट पावर्टी एस्टिमेशन इज important to recognize beneficiaries of government schemes. So poverty elimination, first of all, it has remained a major challenge for the entire world. तो हम एक global perspective से शुरू करेंगे. Then we are bringing it back to India, that why is it a challenge for India? Yes, we'll talk about it. Poverty estimation is important for India because it is बहुत ही लॉजिकल सी चीज़ है, बट हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में भी इंश्राइंड है. हमारा जो आर्टिकल 38 है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का और आर्टिकल 46 है, आर्टिकल 38 ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन यू हैव टू इंश्योर सोशल जस्टिस, कि सबके पास इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज हो. एवरीबडी शुड हैव इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज. वेलफेयर शुड बी assured फॉर एवरीबडी. सो विद रिगार्ड्स टू इंडिया, इट लाइज एट द कोर ऑफ इंडियाज नेशनल डेवलपमेंट एजेंडा टू क्रिएट अ जस्ट एंड इक्विटेबल सोसाइटी. पिक अप एनी पार्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन फ्रॉम प्रीएम्बल, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, DPSPs. हर एक पार्ट में मेंशन्ड है दैट वी वांट इक्वालिटी फॉर पीपल, वी वांट फ्रीडम फॉर पीपल. इफ पीपल आर नॉट एबल टू हैव एन अफोर्डेबल लाइवलीहुड, अगर वो एक लाइवलीहुड या श्योर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, हाउ विल दे हैव इक्वालिटी और फ्रीडम ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट और राइट टू स्पीक. सो दैट्स वाई हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मैंडेट है टू क्रिएट अ जस्ट, जहाँ पर जस्टिस हो, एंड इक्विटेबल सोसाइटी वेयर एवरीबडी हैज़ इक्वल एक्सेस टू अपॉर्चुनिटीज. तो ये आपने कुछ अच्छी बातें लिखनी है. यू कैन ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट सम ऑफ द आर्टिकल्स ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, प्रेफरेबली द प्रीएम्बल एंड डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी हियर. ठीक है, एंड अपने एग्जाम के लिए थोड़े से डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी लाइटली पढ़ के जाइए ताकि आप अपने आंसर्स में आप उनको रिफ्लेक्ट कर पाएँ. थर्डली, सो नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट द नीड ऑफ पावर्टी. यहाँ पे हमने बता दिया पावर्टी एस्टिमेशन, वी हैव नॉट डिफाइंड it, but we've talked about it, that what is it and why is it important for India. So it is the first step towards formulation of poor centric poverty elimination plans, beneficiaries recognize करने में. So such estimates, they are also crucial to track the impact and success of various government policies. So basically if you have poverty estimates of 2023, अगर आप उन पावर्टी एस्टिमेट्स को 2013 के साथ कंपेयर करें, सो यू कैन बेसिकली कंपेयर कि उस गवर्नमेंट के टाइम पे पावर्टी ज़्यादा थी, दैट मीन्स द गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज़ वर नॉट गुड दैट टाइम, या अभी ज़्यादा है तो यानी कि अभी गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज़, द प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज़ आर नॉट गुड इनफ. सो बेस्ड ऑन एस्टिमेशन ऑफ पावर्टी लेवल्स, यू कैन ऑल्सो डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन द type of government that you're choosing, and you can also see that how your country is running. Is it leading towards prosperity so that everybody is benefiting, या फिर inequitable growth हो रही है, या बहुत ज़्यादा inequity है आपकी सोसाइटी में. All right, so basically talking about it, basically we call it warm up and establishing the नीड ऑफ पावर्टी एस्टिमेशन, ये चीज़ हमने करी है. दैट दिस मच इंट्रोडक्शन इज इनफ, क्योंकि काफ़ी पार्ट्स आने वाले हैं. सो वी आर नॉट गोइंग बियॉन्ड 50 वर्ड्स in our introduction. Now, moving on to the let's delve deeper section. In the let's delve deeper section, we understand the topic in its, we get to its roots, and we also, what we do is we study body parts in the let's delve deeper section. That is poverty estimation initiative, जो कि आपका part 1 होने वाला है आंसर का, and then recent trends about India's poverty levels. ठीक है. So coming to poverty estimation levels in this let's delve deeper section. Now you might be scared कि poverty estimation के initiatives क्या हैं government के, what has the government done for poverty estimation. So I would like to make you aware about these initiatives. I am not sure whether you have studied them as part of your syllabus or not, but yes, government from time to time has formed various groups, various committees, various commissions, various task forces to estimate levels of poverty in India, कि कितने लोग हमारे देश में गरीब हैं. Have you heard about BPL or poverty line in the country? उस ये जो है आपकी पावर्टी लाइन है, पावर्टी लाइन के नीचे जो लोग हैं, देयर पर कैपिटा इनकम इज लेस देन द पावर्टी लाइन या कैलोरिफिक इनटेक, सो दीज पीपल आर नोन एज BPL. जो इसके ऊपर अपना लाइवलीहुड चला रहे हैं, दे आर नोन एज APL, अबव पावर्टी लाइन. एंड बेस्ड ऑन APL एंड BPL राशन कार्ड्स आर मेड इन योर कंट्री, कि कितना राशन फ्रीली या सब्सिडाइज रेट्स पर किन्हें मिलेगा. ऑब्वियसली दे विल गेट ऑन एन एक्सपेंसिव प्राइस. ठीक है, दे विल गेट ऑन लोअर प्राइसेस. सो गवर्नमेंट ने टाइम टू टाइम काफ़ी कमेटीज़ बिठाई हैं, एंड येस यू हैव टू रिमेंबर देम. लाइक I'm not asking you to remember exactly what each committee did, but at least lightly remember कि ये जो working group है, लखड़ावाला committee है और रंगाराजन committee, what is it associated with. So the first one was the working group on poverty estimation. Then there was a study by VM Dandekar and Enrath. Then there was 1979 में task force on projections of minimum needs and effective consumption demand. This is known as Dr. Y.K. Alag committee या डॉक्टर वाई के अलग टास्क फोर्स. तो आपके लिए नाम इंपॉर्टेंट है, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. देन 1993, इसके बाद याद करना आसान हो जाएगा. 1993 लकड़ावाला एक्सपोर्ट ग्रुप. देन 2009 तेंदुलकर एक्सपोर्ट ग्रुप एंड 2014 रंगाराजन कमेटी. अब हम इन सब के बारे में हल्का हल्का एक एक पॉइंट में वी विल डिफाइन इट, सो दैट यू लर्न इट फॉर योर एग्जाम, कि कौन से वर्किंग ग्रुप ने या कौन सी टास्क फोर्स ने क्या किया है, एंड यू गेट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर फेज 2. अगर ऑब्जेक्टिव में भी कोई क्वेश्चन आता है, सो एटलीस्ट यू विल बी एबल टू आंसर देम. ऑल्सो इनका आपको क्रोनोलॉजी याद रखना ज़रूरी है. दैट जस्ट रिमेंबर फॉर these three at least, कि पहले आपकी सबसे बाद में रंगाराजन कमेटी आई है, एंड उनसे पहले तेंदुलकर एक्सपोर्ट ग्रुप आया है, एंड उनसे पहले लखड़ावाला एक्सपोर्ट ग्रुप आया है. ऑलराइट, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप और वर्किंग ग्रुप जो आपका 1962 का है, इट वाज अपॉइंटेड बाय द प्लानिंग कमीशन. व्हाट डिड इट सजेस्ट? उन्होंने पावर्टी फर्स्ट टाइम एस्टिमेट करने की कोशिश करी आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस. व्हाट वर दे ट्राइंग टू डू? सो दे बेसिकली first thing they did was that there should be a separate poverty line for urban area and for rural areas, because in urban areas things are more expensive and resources are more inaccessible. You have to pay more money to access the same amount of resources, but in rural areas we have access to agriculture, और थोड़ी महंगाई कम है. सो सेपरेट पावर्टी लाइन्स फॉर रूरल एंड अर्बन एरियाज. आई थिंक दिस इज समथिंग यू कैन रिमेंबर. दे वर डेवलप्ड बाय प्लानिंग कमीशन एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप ऑफ 1962. तो इन्होंने क्या पर कैपिटा पर ईयर सेट किया, दैट इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. जस्ट रिमेंबर कि रूरल एरियाज के लिए ऑब्वियसली ऑलवेज इन ऑल केसेस द पर कैपिटा इनकम for a poverty estimation that will be lesser, because in rural areas you do not have a lot of बहुत महंगाई नहीं होती, you don't have a lot of expensive commodities as compared to urban areas. ठीक है. Now the second one was VM Dandekar and Enrath in 1971. What did they did? तो पहला systematic assessment था, that was based on not how much people are earning, but on the basis of calories consumed per day. So basically they did not say that if you can afford a car or if you can afford a 3 times meal, then you're not poor. They said that how many calories in a day a person can afford, that decides whether he's poor or not. तो वहाँ तक जो हमारी definition थी in 90s in the 20th century, our definition of poverty was in terms of money or intake of food. बाकी जो चीज़ें हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल राइट नाउ इफ़ यू कैन नॉट हैव गुड एक्सेस टू हेल्थ केयर, और you do not have the right access to education, आप किसी यूनिवर्सिटी जाना चाहते हैं but you do not have adequate means to access higher education, then also वो poverty की definition में आ जाता है. But in those times calorific intake was a factor, so this was brought in by N. Rath and V. M. Dandekar committee. Then comes your Y.K. Alak committee of 1979. Again it was based on न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स और न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स के बेसिस पर व्हाट इज द कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर. सो बेसिकली कैलोरिफिक इनटेक का ही डेफिनेशन दिस वाज एक्सपैंडेड. सो इट कंस्ट्रक्टेड अ पॉवर्टी लाइन फॉर रूरल एंड अर्बन एरियाज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स एंड रिलेटेड कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर की कितने न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स लोग खरीद कर पूरे कर पा रहे हैं. देन देयर वाज लकड़ावाला कमेटी ग्रुप ऑफ 1993 एंड दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगेन बाकी चीज़ें सेम थी, दैट कैलोरी कंजम्पशन वाज देयर एज अर्लियर, सेपरेट लाइन्स फॉर रूरल एंड अर्बन एरियाज, बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वन वाज their committee recognized that poverty levels in the country, they are not the same in all the states. हर state में अलग हैं. So rich states like Punjab and Haryana, they have lesser number of poor people as compared to other poorer states. So poverty line should also be different. और जो गवर्नमेंट ऐसे लोगों को फॉर एग्जाम्पल द गवर्नमेंट व्हाट बेनिफिट्स आर बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड टू पुअर पीपल, दे ऑल्सो वेरी फ्रॉम स्टेट टू स्टेट. एक्सेस टू रिसोर्सेज लाइक वाटर could be hard in a state like let's say Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh, ये आपका जो बुंदेलखंड region है. So access to water could be very hard there, but as compared to let's say coastal areas. ठीक है, तो वहाँ पर with the help of this fourth one, that is Lakdawala committee, state specific poverty lines were recognized for the first time. Then there was, this is for you later, this don't worry about this one. Then most important one, Tendulkar Committee of 2009. Tendulkar Committee formula is followed to this date. आज तक भी जो हम poverty estimation करते हैं through National Family Health Survey, that is according to Tendulkar Committee report of 2009. So current official measures of poverty. Then it focused on purchasing power parity model. I told you that nowadays poverty estimation is not just based on calorific intake, calorie intake or per capita income. It is also based on your access to basic items. यहाँ पर basic items में your incorporation of private expenditure on health and education is has been taken into account by Tendulkar Committee. Also expenditure on cereals, pulses, milk, edible oil, non-vegetarian items, vegetables, fresh fruits, dry fruits, sugar, salt and many for example footwear, clothing, fuel. Education को हमने स्पेशली मेंशन किया है. एंटरटेनमेंट एंड पर्सनल गुड्स, दैट ऑल्सो हैज़ बीन टेकन इनटू अकाउंट. तो एक बहुत ही कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव फॉर्मूला डेवलप किया था तेंदुलकर कमेटी ने इन 2009 ऑफ पावर्टी एस्टिमेट्स. इन्होंने पावर्टी लेवल थोड़ा सा कम बताया. सो दिस कमेटी वॉज क्रिटिसाइज्ड अ लॉट कि इंडिया में पुअर लोग ज़्यादा हैं और तेंदुलकर कमेटी ने काफ़ी कम बताए हैं. सो बिकॉज ऑफ द क्रिटिसिज्म रंगाराजन कमेटी इन 2014 दिस वाज ब्रॉट इन. तो इनकी रिपोर्ट 2014 में आई एंड दे सेड दैट तेंदुलकर कमेटी ने जो एस्टिमेट किया है, द एस्टिमेट्स ऑफ तेंदुलकर कमेटी, तो नंबर ऑफ पुअर वर 19% हायर इन रूरल एरियाज. मान लीजिए 20% रूरल पुअर को बोला गया है, रूरल पीपल वर नोन एज पुअर. सो इट्स ए 20 प्लस 19% कीजिए कर दीजिए, दैट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ पुअर पीपल. तो तेंदुलकर कमेटी ने लो एस्टिमेट्स बताया एंड 41% मोर इन अर्बन एरियाज. ऑलराइट, दैट वाज एस्टिमेटेड यूजिंग तेंदुलकर कमेटी फॉर्मूला. नाउ डू यू हैव टू रिमेंबर exact percentage of poor people according to all these committee groups? Not at all. What you have to remember is the feature. So only the features have been talked about here. You can get full essays on all the committees, but they will not be important for your exam. So Rangarajan committee की जो reports थी, they were not accepted by government. So हम जब पावर्टी एस्टिमेट्स की बात करते हैं, इफ़ वी आर क्रिटिसाइजिंग द गवर्नमेंट, वी टॉक अबाउट रंगाराजन कमेटी एस्टिमेट्स ऑल्सो. बट जब गवर्नमेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स की बात की जाती है और व्हेन द गवर्नमेंट इज ट्राइंग टू एस्टिमेट पावर्टी, इट यूजेस तेंदुलकर कमेटी फॉर्मूला. ऑलराइट, सो दैट शुड बी, आई थिंक यू हैव गॉट व्हाट आर द पावर्टी एस्टिमेशन इनिशिएटिव्स. अ लिटिल क्रैमिंग वुड बी रिक्वायर्ड हियर, बट विद द हेल्प ऑफ एडिक्वेट अंडरस्टैंडिंग, थोड़ा सा पेशेंस देंगे, यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाई एस्टिमेशन ऑफ पावर्टी इज important and what have been the initiatives of government for poverty estimation. So now you must have seen that data keeps on coming, that number of poor people in India has decreased, has increased. हमारा as part of human development report there is also multi-dimensional poverty index at global level that is released. ठीक है, तो उसमें भी इंडिया का रैंक अच्छा नहीं रहता है. But as I showed you one of the screenshots that Niti Aayog has released a report that multi-dimensional poverty index, people who are multi-dimensionally poor यानी कि जिनके पास education, healthcare या basic like living standards नहीं है, that has decreased. So more and more people are having access to education, healthcare and standard of living. So where is all this data coming from? The census नहीं हुआ है, कोई नई कमेटी नहीं है. Where is all this data coming from? Your answer is National Family Health Survey. So survey, I've taken a class on census and surveys few days back. Kindly refer to Perspective 360 degree on census and survey. Census होता है that you go to each and every person of a state or a country and you ask questions from them. Survey क्या होता है? You pick up let's say 100 people, you ask questions from them, आप उनकी mapping करते हैं and on the basis of those 100 people, you actually project or you predict that this is the reality for the entire country. So survey is not like total, complete, accurate estimate. Survey is basically हम reliable मानते हैं because we cannot carry out a census every year. All right. So National Family Health Survey is the most reliable source of information for government data. And जो recent trends in Indian poverty levels हैं, where do they come from? They come from NFHS data. नीति आयोग की जो रिपोर्ट की भी जो हमने बात की है, that is also following National Family Health Survey data. तो आपको इतना कुछ पता लग गया है. Now you have to incorporate that in your answer कि आप recent trends in poverty levels की क्या बात करेंगे. So first of all you have to make it very clear that NFHS surveys are for those of you who do not know the full form, National Family Health Surveys, and latest one are important for your exam. I reiterate them from time to time. Total fertility rate बताते हैं, poverty levels बताते हैं, nutrition level या unemployment level भी NFHS के through हमें पता लगता है. So definitely note the recent data for any exam that you're appearing. So NFHS surveys are part of a multinational attempt to provide estimates of multidimensional poverty index. So नीति आयोग ने एक report release की थी based on NFHS data which was known as मल्टी-डायमेंशनल पावर्टी इंडेक्स. आपको पता है HDR का पार्ट है. नाउ नीति आयोग रिलीज्ड नेशनल मल्टी-डायमेंशनल पावर्टी इंडेक्स, अ प्रोग्रेस रिव्यू. प्रोग्रेस रिव्यू क्यों बोला गया? बिकॉज वी हैव प्रोग्रेस्ड इन ब्रिंगिंग द नंबर ऑफ पुअर पीपल डाउन. अ प्रोग्रेस रिव्यू 2023 एंड नीति आयोग हर साल नहीं रिलीज करता है. दिस वाज ओनली द सेकंड मल्टी-डायमेंशनल नेशनल मल्टी-डायमेंशनल पावर्टी इंडेक्स दैट नीति आयोग रिलीज्ड. उससे पहले नहीं होता था. तो नाउ मेकिंग इट वेरी क्लियर, द रिपोर्ट हैज बीन प्रिपेयर्ड बेस्ड ऑन लेटेस्ट NFHS, दैट इज NFHS 5 is your latest, जिसमें 2019 और 21 का डेटा है. It is based on the data provided to us by NFHS 5. And this is the second edition of National Multidimensional Poverty Index. So what does National Multidimensional Poverty Index measure? वही जो आपका Global Multidimensional Poverty Index measure करता है. Exactly what the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index is measuring. On the same parameters, National Multidimensional Poverty Index is also functioning. So it is used to measure poverty across its multiple dimension and in effect complements existing poverty statistics. Existing poverty statistics कौन सा? MPI UNDP वाला, उसकी बात कर रहे हैं. बेस्ड ऑन पर कैपिटा कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर. ठीक है. सो टिल हियर वी आर क्लियर. वी हैव इंट्रोड्यूस्ड वेरी वेल कि रीसेंट ट्रेंड्स क्या हैं रिगार्डिंग पॉवर्टी इन इंडिया, वेयर आर दे कमिंग फ्रॉम. नाउ व्हाट आर द ट्रेंड्स, वो हम थोड़ा सा बात करते हैं. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द रीसेंट रिपोर्ट of Niti Aayog, reduction in multidimensional poverty has occurred, that around 13.5 crore people have moved out of multidimensional poverty between what time? 2015 के टाइम से 2021 के टाइम तक. सो दैट इज़ बेसिकली अराउंड उसी टाइम से आपकी जो बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट है या जो रीसेंट गवर्नमेंट है, दैट हैज़ बीन इन पावर. सो दैट बेसिकली रिफ्लेक्ट्स दैट द गवर्नमेंट इज taking a lot of initiatives or a lot of methods to bring people out of poverty, to lift people out of poverty. Then there is decline in poverty percentage also. कई बार क्या होता है, more and more people are lifted out of poverty, but because of population explosion, that the percentage of people who are poor in your country, that has not fallen क्योंकि population बढ़ गई है. So if population has increased, so more percentage of people should also be lifted out of poverty क्योंकि poor लोग भी ज़्यादा बड़े होंगे. So it says that decline in poverty percentage has also occurred, that India's population living in MPI decreased from 24.85% in 2015-16 to 14.96%. तो अपने यही डेटा यूज करना है. दिस डेटा कैन बी asked to you in your exam. Then there is a rural urban divide. तो क्या रूरल एरियाज में पॉवर्टी ज़्यादा गिरी है या अर्बन एरियाज में ज़्यादा गिरी है? So the rural areas experience the fastest decline in poverty, with the poverty rate dropping from 32.59 to 19.28%. Exact data याद करना not very important, but at least remember that rural areas observe the fastest decline, and in urban areas also the rate has reduced from 8.65% to 5.27%. तो कहाँ कहाँ रिडक्शन हुई है? रिडक्शन हर जगह हुई है. Remember these three parameters on which you have to base your answers. Entire data cannot be remembered. It cannot, मैं भी याद नहीं रख सकती हूँ. So you don't have to remember it. But again, be prepared for a question like this. आप देखिए कि आप कौन से keywords add करेंगे. In your reports for current affairs, you will be definitely studying the multidimensional poverty index released by नीति आयोग. उसके और aspects देखिए. If you can add something to your answer, add it in the answer that you will be sending to us in the comment section in the next 48 hours itself. बाद के लिए मत छोड़िए. All right. So now what we'll do is we'll write a way forward for this answer. Way forward में क्या हो सकता है? Now this report that I've told you of नीति आयोग, a lot of people have said that it uses flawed parameters, कि इनका तो जो estimation है that is wrong. Population size, the sample size that has been taken for survey, that is very much small. So we cannot rely on this, and क्योंकि survey पर based है, it is not based on census, so we do not know that is it exact number of people या सिर्फ या सिर्फ sampled number के basis पर they have projected some happy reality in front of us. So lot of criticism has also come up. Will you talk about criticism? Not exactly, but can you talk about criticism? Yes, because you have to balance your answer. So basically, before moving on to the conclusion part, there are always government policies which are working in a certain direction. For example, if you have to talk about women empowerment, you will talk about sexual harassment at workplaces act, she act या she box के बारे में आप बात करेंगे, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ के बारे में बात करेंगे. If you have to talk about reduction in poverty, there are some initiatives of government and most of them have been talked about me during this discussion. Include them in your answer. That the above progress can be attributed to the government policies of National Rural Livelihoods Missions, जहाँ पर jobs provide की जाती हैं और people are made skilled enough to actually have their lead a small business or have a job of their own livelihood. MG Narega है, MG Narega is providing jobs, ठीक है, budgetary allocation is going down for MG Narega, but it actually saved people from getting pushed back into poverty during the COVID-19 pandemic. So talk about such initiatives. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, it provides houses to people. Public distribution system where you get subsidized food grains. Poor people have separate ration cards for them. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana hai. Then you have Pradhan Mantri Sehaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, Saubhagya Yojana. With the incoming of इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, व्हाट हैपन्स? अब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी क्या है? लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड जो आपका पैरामीटर है, हेल्थ, एजुकेशन एंड स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग. स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग में एक पैरामीटर है अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. इफ सम हाउस होल्ड डज नॉट हैव इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, इट इज कंसिडर्ड पुअर. सो अंडर द सौभाग्य योजना, ऑल द हाउसेज इन विलेजेस दे हैव बीन प्रोवाइडेड विद इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शन. सो इस इनिशिएटिव की वजह से देन यू हैव प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना. कुकिंग फ्यूल इज ऑल्सो अ पैरामीटर व्हेन यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी अंडर स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग इंडेक्स. सो प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना में वी हैव गिवन LPG gas cylinders to poor people or to BPL families. Previously it was 5 crore families, now it is 7 crore families. तो आप अपने कंक्लूजन में इन सब की बात कीजिए, कॉमा डाल के एटलीस्ट मेंशन 2-3 इनिशिएटिव एक पे फोकस करके लिखिए दैट बिकॉज ऑफ दीज इनिशिएटिव्स दिस इंप्रूवमेंट हैज बीन सीन. नाउ इन द कंक्लूजन वील ऑल्सो टॉक अ लिटिल डिप्लोमैटिक दैट द रीसेंट पेपर्स फाइंडिंग्स जो कि नीति आयोग का है, दे डिफर फ्रॉम अर्लियर फाइंडिंग्स विच वर एक्चुअली शोइंग एन इंक्रीज इन पॉवर्टी लेवल्स ऑफ इंडिया विद टाइम. And this is mainly due to the difference in sample design between पहले क्या होता था, current employment statistics use किया जाता था and PLFS. Now we have used NFHS, that is National Family Health Survey. So India has made अब ये क्या है, थोड़ा सा criticism है. This is up to you whether you want to write it or not. I would prefer that एक line में at least mention कीजिए. But because the question is asking you about recent trends, it is not asking you about how India has come out of poverty. It is asking you about recent trends. तो थोड़ा सा दूसरी side की भी in one line without criticizing the government talk about it. So now then appreciate the government. Also always end your conclusion on a positive note. However, India has made significant strides in the field of poverty estimation with several initiatives aimed at the poverty estimation or poverty eradication. All right. with several initiatives aimed at adequately assessing and monitoring poverty levels in the country. And these efforts, पहले हमने estimation की यहाँ बात की है, and these efforts, they have been instrumental in providing valuable insights into the state of poverty in India, and most importantly, estimation के लिए बहुत efforts लिए गए हैं. And secondly, how has that helped? Guiding policy interventions to alleviate the suffering of impoverished populations. So that is where you can end your answer. ठीक है, it appears a very long answer but it is not. Write in pointers ताकि आपको full sentences ना लिखना पड़े. You don't have to worry about grammar when you write in points. Points के आगे sub points बनाइए. That is the approach that we are following. Use full stop as bullet points, use hyphen as bullet points, and use caps lock key to give headings in your answer. So these are some of the things you can embellish your answer with. That's all for today. I'm displaying the question again. For free evaluation to the answers you will write, make sure that you post your answers in the comment section in the next 48 hours. For those of you who are watching this for the first time, you get free evaluation if you write a question to this answer. Can you copy what we studied here? Yes, you can copy it, but make sure that you are adding something of your own. Copy करना नुकसान की चीज़ नहीं होती. It's not harmful to copy things, but the point is that you should be growing with time. Copy करने के साथ आपको सीखने को भी मिल रहा है, आपको चीज़ें याद भी रह रही हैं. ठीक है, पूरा देखकर कॉपी मत कीजिए, कुछ याद करने की भी कोशिश कीजिए. So with time you will become independent in answer writing. We all learn step by step. All right, post your answers in the comment section in next 48 hours and our experts will evaluate your answers free of cost. Free evaluation दिया जाएगा. Go back to previous videos, check out the comprehensive evaluation given by our experts. You will be thoroughly impressed. Now, if you have any feedback for me, the YouTube comment section is open for you. My name is Surbhi. If you have any feedback for Perspective 360 Degree or for EduTap, it's YouTube comment section. Kindly let us know in the comment section. Subscribe to our channel, and if you have any other feedback which you don't want to post, or if you want to contact us, you can send us your feedback at hello@edutap.co.in or call us at 8146-207-241. That's all from my side. Now I'll be taking some doubts which I have been seeing some messages popping here. So let me see if there are any doubts, or otherwise we'll call it a day. Ananya, I'll get this checked. All right, Preeti, you can call us for the same. You can call our support for the same support team. The number is displayed on the slide. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, Vijay. How to gauge the growth in answer writing? That's a very good question, Ananya. If you want to gauge your own growth in answer writing, go back to the answer you wrote 15 days ago and evaluate that answer on your own as if it was written by somebody else. Just see that, do you find that answer interesting? Will you award like let's say 12 marks out of 15 in that answer or not? How to keep track on word limit? Ajay, initially you can cross word limit. You will definitely cross word limit, but with time try to summarize the topics you have got clarity on and try to write in as much as in points as you can. All right, so that's all for today. No more doubts coming. So Ajay, is there clarity around that? All right, Prashant, thank you so much. So I'll see you on, what is it, Friday 5 p.m. live. So 5 p.m. on Friday it is. Kindly post your answers before that time. That is 48 hours window you have. Kindly post it tomorrow itself, because I see a lot of comments coming on the last day. Don't you think it makes you more anxious and you feel heavy that, okay, oh my God, I have to post my answer? Don't give that anxiety to yourself. Life has, various ways of stressing you out. Don't add another stressful thing to your life. Post your answers within 24 hours. Yes, we are taking answers for 48 hours, but be kind to yourself. Post as early as you can. For English, Tarun, you can contact our team. We have different initiatives running on YouTube for free. Ajay, you can go to Google. You will find a word counter there. Copy your answer there. It will count words for you. Or if you're writing in Microsoft Word, it will count your words. You will see the number of words that you have written on the left bottom corner. No, Ajay, in the computer exam, you won't have a word counter. You'll have to count them on your own. Yes, UPSC IS, we are providing you with important topics. So, alright, rest of the doubts I'll take in the session on Friday. It was a great interaction with you. Take care and all the very best.